Hi guys, welcome to part 3. If you've already seen part 2, which I assume you have, watching part 3, I would have thought you've already seen part 2. We tweaked our differential as well as brake bias to make the car more stable under braking, and obviously corner entry we haven't worked on. We worked on corner exit to get that bit balanced, so we had too much oversteer, so we worked on the on throttle differential and brake bias mainly, and a little bit of rake settings we did in terms of ride height, so the car's not bottoming out too much through RST. And here we are. So now what we're going to do, if you remember, I mentioned that in the previous part 2 is our corner entry wasn't very good, and if I remember correctly, it was turn 1 and the car just didn't want to turn in here. Okay, and because of that, I was locking up as well. If I go into race engineer, possible understeer, because obviously if you look at the cost unlocking factor 23.5, power unlocking factor 19.4, lateral load transfer 85, that's where the problem is. That's what's causing the understeer. Okay, so we're going to work on that now. So what we're going to do, going to garage, insert transmission. Now 85, we're going to take that down to 78, and there's no rule of thumb. From experience, I'm just making a change, but I will still tweak that as we go along. And I'm just going to increase that by a few clicks on throttle, because I still need a little bit more stability on corner exit. Okay, we're not going to change that for now. Suspension, we're going to keep that as it is for now, but we'll still be tweaking that. I'm going to keep that as it is. That's going to stay as it is. Aero, we're going to keep at 5.4 for now. Okay, let's go ahead and have a look, see what we can do with this. 10th up. Perfect exit there. My line was all wrong. We're still up from our previous best. Right. So let's have a look at the 131.4, which was a very good lap in my opinion, because I wasn't that far off my best. But again, it's the out lap, so it's not going to pick up the data. But let's look at this one, and it's looking better. It can still improve. I'm still getting on throttle unlocking, which is causing, and it's a very acute turn, that exit that is very hard to get onto the power early. Even here on throttle. So yes, I'm still getting on throttle unlocking, so I need to work on that. So we're going to lock the differential on that instance there. That's one thing. Under braking, I'm still struggling. Under braking, I'm not managing to slow the car down, but what I need to look at for that is aero, because am I bottoming out when I am locking up? So let's look at turn 1. Yes, can you see? Front left -7. And again, if I look at here, let's see where our right rake is. Brake needs to be improved as well. Okay, fine. So we're getting to a stage where we're relatively happy with the brake bias. But I can't tweak that, but I can only tweak that once I've dialed out the bottoming out. So what I'm going to do first with regards to that is go into here. I'm going to keep the aero as it is for the time being, but I'm going to stiffen the suspension up a bit, okay? And see what that difference that makes to the ride height. That's the first thing we're going to do. And in terms of transmission, on throttle, we're going to change, take that, let's take that to 67, see how we cope with that. Corner entry, I'm a lot happier. I'm not going to change that at the moment. See how we get on. And there's no point changing that at this moment in time as well, because we're going to see what difference that stiffer springs make. So let's do that. A bit too much turn in there, and I had to really bail out of it. Got a purple sector in sector 3. Okay, so let's have a look at that. 131.8. I'm still getting lockups. We'll work on that. Now, turn 1, if you remember, I really had to bail out because the initial turn in, I got a bit of oversteer, and I was going to hit the curbs on the inside, and I had to bail out so I don't spin out, which basically means that I need to either lock the diff slightly, because what's happened is by stiffening the springs, the aero's working a lot better now, so the aero is helping me turn in as well. So to compensate, two things: I can either reduce the front wing, which I am going to anyway, because that's inducing a bit of oversteer, which I don't really want, and also where are we? Aero, the off throttle differential, which we'll work on. But if we look at this bit here, let's see if you were bottoming me out here a little bit there. Okay, so if we're still on throttle, we're turning in. Are we turning in there? Let's have a look. Let me just look at components, wheel loads. In fact, suspension will show us. If we go into, oops, wrong one. Neutral steer, here we are, neutral steer, so that's oversteer there. Can you see? So below 0, minus is oversteer, so minus 2.49, that's the oversteer we were getting. That's not oversteer, and that's what's causing us an issue into corner entry. 46.76. Lateral load bias 46.76. Okay, so going back into here, I can reduce this line. I'm going to reduce that by 2. But also ride height is okay at the moment for the time being. I'm not going to play around with that yet. Springs, I'm going to leave them as they are as well. And the aero, I'm just going to reduce by 1. So there's 2 things we changed. The transmission, off-throttle differential, we've unlocked it slightly. And also I've reduced the front wing by 1 click. Let's have a look, see what we can do with this. Okay, let's have a look at what changes as made to the telemetry. So that 131.5. Okay, yeah, we can get data off this lap here. As you can see, so if I went back to this one here, I think it was. So at this stage on, if I look at the time cursor, when I started getting inducing the oversteer, that point there, so at 5.32, my neutral steer angle is minus 0.4 and 5.32. And if I look on this one here, at 5.29, it looks a lot more stable. I'm getting a bit there, and then as I turn in, getting a bit of oversteer, but nowhere near to what I was getting. I think it was this one, -1. Look at that. Okay, go back into here. Go back into differential. It was this one here. Can see if you look at my front axle, I'm hardly getting any locking. Okay, I've got some lock up here. We'll have a look at that, but over here it's clean compared to if I look at my other lap here. How many times did I lock up with my initial setup? So my driving has changed a lot since I've been using racing sim tools and understanding how car setups work. I've had to alter my driving style over the course of the season in the league racing I did, but it's actually improved my driving. Now I can't drive with the old setup. I have to change the setup using racing sim tools, and I'm driving a lot better and I'm getting better lap times. So take a now, if you look at lap 1 there and then look at lap 12, my locks are pretty much gone. We'll work on that shortly. Rear, let's have a look at the rear axle comparison. So if you look at, these are lockups, anything above 0 into a plus. That's all lockups, and these are wheel slips on acceleration. So that's what it looked like in lap 1, and then lap 12. It's improved. I'm not getting as much on throttle. It could still be better. And so I'm still getting a little bit of lockups on the rear, which I could feel actually under braking. If I go back onto the heavier braking zone, which was probably here, but again, when you have the weight transfer, so I'm actually off my brakes here at this stage. If I just look here, there, okay, I am getting a rear wheel locking, but I am turning in as well. I am turning in. So you do get that weight transfer. I'm braking a bit too late. I think I need to brake a bit earlier. So I could change that slightly just by driving style. Let's have a quick look at race engineer. Okay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 instances of oversteer on lap 12 compared to lap 1. Understeer, oversteer, understeer. I was still getting only 4 instances, but it was mixed between understeer and oversteer. Now it's mostly oversteer. Now it depends how you want the car. If you can deal with the oversteer over the course of a race, then I would keep it as it is. But if you feel it's unstable, which I had in my last race in Abu Dhabi, where I was in P2, the guy in P1, as the tires, excuse me, as the tires are wearing out, his car was very oversteery. Obviously, he set you up in time trial, and he likes the way car was handled. He liked the way the car was handling because he probably likes the oversteery car. But when the tires start wearing out, that oversteery car is going to become very dangerous, and you are going to spin out in fast corners. Hence, I tend to dial out the oversteer for race trim. Now, when I do the race setup, I'll show you that. But in this part 3, we're just going to have a look at this, whether we can live with that oversteer. And in time trial, usually you can, because you get new tires after every beginning of the lap anyway. But we've improved. We improved from 132.5 to 131.5 by making those changes. So up until now, what have we changed? We've changed the differential, we've changed brake bias, and I can still tweak that brake bias, to be fair. We've changed on throttle and off throttle differential, and we've changed the brake bias. We've changed the rake, which we're going to have a look at here, and also the stiffness of the springs. But you do that bit by bit as you go along. Don't make all the changes in one go. You won't know what's causing the issues. Then I can still make that better. Okay, we've got it. 1 second, let me just get that to 100% throttle. Yeah, -5, a lot better than what it was. I can make that better. If I just take that up by, so the front ride height, I could lower that actually. I could actually lower that a bit, but I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the rear and see what that does. Let's have a look. beat our personal best. Too busy looking at the top, so I didn't quite get my lap in, but we've actually improved. We've improved by a few tenths. I believe I can get into the 130s. Yeah, I believe I can get here. My target is 130.5. And by the time I finish this setup, I should have had that. But up until now, thank you for watching. Just a quick recap. And I'm just going to have a look at that last lap as well. And it's not going to give me the correct data because it's an out lap, but we increased that ride heights just by 1. And I'll show you in the next part 4, of what kind of readings we get on there by increasing, and if whether we manage to dial out the rake. Up until now, thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.